Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at just how good the AGL Turles Giant Ape unit is in DBZ Dokkan Battle after his Extreme-Z Awakening. Now he is an all types lead of key plus 3 HP attack and defense of 80%. He greatly raises attack for one turn whilst causing supreme damage with a high chance of stunning the enemy. He has attack and defense of 120%. And key plus 3 plus an additional attack and defense of 120% when key is 9 or more. So you only need 9 key to basically get his guaranteed super. He has an additional defense of 120% when there are 5 or more Space Traveling Warriors category allies on the team. And he launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack when there is another Planetary Destruction category ally attacking in the same turn, or a low class warrior category enemy. He will turn into a giant ape when conditions are met. He has a chance, which is 10%, to turn into a giant ape up to 2 times. He has Destroyer the Universe, Prepared for Battle, Thirst for Conquest, Big Bad Bosses, Transform, Sand Raw, and Fierce Battle as his links. And he's on Low Class Warrior, Giant Form, Movie Bosses, Pure Sands, Terrifying Conquerors, Giant Ape Power, Space Traveling Warriors, and Planetary Destruction. The one really interesting thing for him is that he's all multiplicative. So that 120% key that kicks in when key is 9 or more will occur upon super. So that's all pretty good. 5 Space Traveling Warriors gives them just enough flexibility to essentially have a team that can have one unit that isn't a Space Traveling Warrior, which is okay, but it isn't really, the craziest link up, basically. It does restrict you a little bit. Of course, it's not the worst situation, but it is basically the absolute minimum kind of flexibility to have. Basically, for example, if you're running one of his better linking partners, Demon King Piccolo, he's the only non-space traveling warrior you can have on the team at this time. So it is something that you are going to have to be essentially on top of. So aside from that, it is basically pretty much a good unit. I think he looks really solid. I think he brings enough to the table. Built-in additionals with a Planetary Destruction unit, which isn't too hard to achieve, means that he can go full crit in his build. He doesn't do too much with additionals. It's not like he raises attack or defense or anything. And he already has a high chance to stun, so I'm more on the crit / evasion family for this guy, more so than anything, because I think the Planetary Destruction requirement is pretty limited. I think it's not bad. I think he can fulfill it quite often. So overall, he looks really good. Giant Form is attack of 50% plus key of 3, which is relatively solid and does some decent damage. It's not going to blow anyone's socks off, but that's not what Giant Forms are for. If you want to know more about them, you can always look at my video on Giant Forms. But basically he does a pretty good job, and his Giant Form is relatively useful as well. Overall, his best linking partners are other Turleses, and because he's Giant Ape, he can link up with them pretty well. However, of course, for me specifically, you can really get a nice link up between him and Demon King Piccolo. They have Thirst for Conquest, they're Big Bad Bosses, they have Transform, and they have Fierce Battle. So they have all the major link sets that you need, which is pretty nice. And of course, they pretty much go in sync on most of their categories. Like I said, you just need to make sure you have the rest of the team being Space Traveling Warriors so that you can sort it all out. But that is basically it on his performance. I think overall he looks really solid without being a unit that is, broken. I think he's just a very solid addition to these categories. This is at 55%, so at Rainbow he'll be looking really nice. And obviously he gains a lot out of link leveling. Thirst for Conquest gives him 15% defense, Big Bad Bosses, start a turn, attack and defense at 25%. Transform, 10% more defense, and so does Sand Raw. Prepared for Battle, another 5% attack and defense, and Destroyer the Universe, 15% defense. So he gets a lot. Link leveling him, is really solid. It's a strong link set to link level, and especially like with Demon King Piccolo, like I mentioned, he gets a lot. Yeah, if you fully link level him, it's 25% big bad bosses, 15% from Thirst for Conquest, 10% from Transform. So he looks really solid. He'll have a really big defensive upswing, and you could be looking at over 200k before Super with some support on the rotation, which is very good. It means that he'll be sitting very pretty after Super, and then he'll be looking quite solid. So a very good kind of link set, and I think overall a very solid unit. A little bit limited in terms of category, but overall very solid. I think for me, I'd be very happy with this guy. He's a great pairing partner for the new Turles as well. I believe they share 5 links as well. He shares 5 links with AGL Turles, so he's just in general a good unit to have. He's not the first slot tank, so he doesn't solve that issue for the team, but he is really solid and does a great job essentially in tons of content. That's it from me. Bye.